tutorial of GIMP. Mr. McEwen here. Today I'm going to, whoops, that's not it. Where's the GIMP? Oh, there's GIMP. Okay, today I'm going to show you how to change the color in an image. This is important because you will be changing, either adding patterns or colors or to the walls of your Redesign the School project. So here I've got a car, it's orange, or is it? Because I have changed the color from blue to orange, but I've also retained or kept the shadows that were in the original photograph. And some of the details are coming through, even like this gas tank, which I'll show you about that, and all the lines. All right? So we're going to be using layers, a layer for the actual color change. We're going to be using this tab here, which is called the Paths tab, which will have all the parts that we want to color. Sometimes some of the parts that we need to combine in order to get the exact thing we want to copy. And it's also going to use a filter, which we haven't used a lot of these. We're going to use a map filter called Bump Map, which brings forward all of the things from the original photograph into your layer. Okay. So first of all, we need to learn how to select. Okay. We need to be able to select just the car. So I've got a new car here. I've already created my layer, my new layer for my color change, but we're going to be doing working with the photograph first because we want to highlight it. What you want to understand is there's a difference between a selection and a path. So our selection tools are these first 7. I'm not going to go over all of them, but I'll show you what happens when you pull a circle out, okay? And then you can adjust it as you want. And then when you press Enter, that is a selection. This is where I'm on the bucket tool. See, if I'm outside of the selection, the little no symbol, or not symbol, appears. But as soon as I get in my selection, I can color it in, right? I can't actually color out things that are not in the selection. So we want to highlight or select the entire car without the windows and be able to color it. If you notice it looks like this, it's because it's just painting over the photograph. If I back up one and go to color here, I can still color up, but it's still going to cover up. We'll fix that later. Right now we just want to create a selection of the tool. So if you use Escape, if you use Select None, that selection will disappear. All right, so there is a free select tool. It's this one that looks like a lasso. And if you're really good at drawing, oh my goodness, that's horrible. All right, yeah, taking your time and being patient. And all this is straight lines as well, but you can, if you're good with the mouse, hey, this might work. Look at that, not bad at all, but not good enough for me. Select None. Plus, okay, I want to be back on my blue car. There's some other selection tools that if you want to look at, you can totally look up Google Fuzzy Select tutorial on GIMP, look up Color Tool or Foreground Select Tool, but I think this is probably the easiest one besides just the Path tool. So these two can be used to do a lot of the work that you want to do. Now the Scissor tool, it actually, when you start clicking, it tries to find the cleanest difference between what is in the foreground and what is the background. And it does a pretty good job. If you just click forward, if it's a really difficult area, you can always move these, or you can add nodes to it. See, it wants to go up on the wall. So just by adding a couple more nodes before you go forward, I'm going to do this really quick. So I've done this 100 times. There we go. That's not too bad. And even go in here. I don't want the headlights to be. Ooh, that's not really good. So I'm going to put another node in here and try to get it right on the black. Let's see if it'll do that. Oh, see, that's not bad. And then go back here. Does the bottom of the car really good. Does that side really good. And then right back, and then you really need to pay attention. You see where it's a plus? Plus means it's going to add another node. But as soon as you come up to the last one, it shows this two circles conjoined, and that's going to be a complete selection. If I hit enter, it is now a selection. And I can color it in. Look, whoa, isn't that great? Well, I don't want to do that yet because I don't want to color on the actual photograph. I also don't ever want to have to draw around the car again. So I click over my tab, a Paths tab right here, and you see at the bottom there's a couple things. This says New Path or Selection to Path. This dotted line that is kind of moving is actually a selection. So I'm going.
Just a quick announcement from the SDA. Tomorrow is Color Wars. Here's a reminder of your grade's colors. Grade 12, black. Grade 11 is white. Grade 10 is red. Grade 9 is blue. Grade 8 is green. Grade 7 is orange. Grade 6 is yellow. And finally, the teachers are multicolored. See you tomorrow.
Okay, after that announcement, path to selection to path, okay? And up here you can see, here's my selection is now a path. The power of paths is that even if you select none, which you're going to happen, and you're going to, oh, I need to go back to my car. So, or I need to go back to that wall, because you should have many selections that you're going to make. You're going to be highlighting and removing and all this other stuff. So you can come back to this, click on it, and click the path to selection, and you instantly have it back so that you can work with it. That's great, isn't it? So please use paths and name them so that you can use them when you need to. So another thing I need to do is I need to remove the windows from this selection because I don't want to color the windows orange. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my scissor tool again. I'm going to go here. I'm going to hit enter. When I hit enter, now the windows are selected, and I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to say selection to path. That is now the windows. Okay. I think I could just use this path tool too, which some people might be. It's very much like Inkscape if you used that last time, and you hold Command and click enter. Here's my. I think that's right. There is the side mirror. Hit enter, and then I can say selection of path. So I've got my. So automatically, if I use the path tool, it automatically makes a path when I'm creating it. So either one of these two tools will create. You can create paths from. The scissor tool just does it for you. The path tool, you actually have to create the curves yourself. See, watch this. Once you actually, this is what a professional would do: is use these path tools and create these perfect, like they would be watching this and they would create them like this. Okay, so getting good at the path tool is something that's kind of something that you should think about doing. So I'm going to select none because I don't want anything selected. Why is it? Okay. Okay. Enter. Select none. All right. Oh, I got to get off the path tool. Sorry. Okay. When you're on the path tool, you can make as many paths as you want. So now I've got everything I want. I don't actually want this one anymore. I'm going to delete the path. Okay. I want to bring the car back, so I'm going to say, hey, I want this path as a selection now. But I want to subtract the window from this path right now. You'll see. So if you control click or you double click, you'll get this menu for this Windows path, and you want to subtract from selection right there. Now, when I fill in, it's just going to fill in everything besides the windows. Great. But I also want to add in this little side mirror, so I'm going to click on it and double click. Double click. And I want to add this one to the selection. So it's about adding and subtracting different parts as you get. I really should take the gas tank off, and I should also take off these door handles, so they're not colored as well, and that will determine your level of expertise, is how much you really actually. What was I talking about? All right, so now let's get to coloring. Okay, so we've got this pathway. Let's not do pink. Let's do like a yellow. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to use the bucket tool. Again, I only can do it within the selected, so you can see it changing, and that's going to be a lot of good information. Is what is the cursor telling you? So here we got a yellow car, absolutely no details coming through, and it's on this one layer. Well, that's where the bump map come in. So now that I've got it colored in, I'm going to come down to map and to bump map. What the bump map does is it takes all the details, from the original photograph. You can see all these things that's coming through, like differences in color, shine, anything that's on the car, it'll bring them through. You just have to make sure that you're bump mapping the right photograph. So here's my original photograph. I click OK. And instantly you can see there's some things coming through, right? But that's not good enough. The last thing we need to do is change the mode for this layer. And these are all different ways where it combines the bottom picture and the top picture, or the bottom layer and the top layer. One that works okay sometimes is overlay. You can see it's not quite combined in the color, so put a little bit of yellow on the blue. Hue, oh, there we go. Hue looks good. Hue looks good. So that is what you want to do. And that's how you change the color. And then you can just have fun with the colors, right?